Are we truly independent? Are we free? A lot of you might find it ironical that I'm still asking this question despite having the opportunity to express my thoughts fully and to tell you all my opinions today. While I am aware of a lot of generations before me, especially of women who did not have the right that I enjoy today, I'm also aware of this nagging fear in my mind which is not allowing me to speak everything that I want to. Because people getting arrested simply based on their opinions is no longer just a figment of my imagination. Similarly, there exists the constitutional guarantee to the right to freedom of education. Why is it that my house helps children struggle desperately to get access to education during the pandemic because they could not afford internet connectivity? In this case, it is the shackles of poverty which is infringing on their right to freedom of education and even survival in some cases. So there exists a gap between what is there in the constitution and the laws and the ground reality. Maybe I can explain it better using an analogy. Ever since independence, India's healthcare system has come a long way. We have way more hospitals and doctors than we used to have back in the 1950s. And yet the COVID-19 pandemic and the devastation that it brought laid bare the inefficiencies and the deficiencies that exist in the system even today. So there is a lot of things on paper, but its implementation has not been good. The benefits have not reached the people. Similarly, while in this fight to safeguard a lot of our freedoms, we have achieved a lot of things like fundamental rights, duties, safeguards, etc. There is this necessity that has been established, but their sufficiency still has a huge question mark attached to them. Freedom is always from something. In 1947, it was from the British colonization. In the subsequent years, we fought against social evils like racism, caste-based discrimination, gender inequality, and the list is long. Now, in those struggles, we were successful in having inclusions of certain safeguards within our constitution and laws. For example, the criminalization of caste-based discrimination, etc. And yet, we see caste as an important parameter in so many matrimonials in the newspapers today. Gender pay gap is as prevalent as ever, and here we are still thinking whether we can express everything fearlessly, whether it is safe to do so. As a woman today, I'm forced to ask myself whether I'm truly free and independent. The constitution tells me yes, the laws tell me yes, the media tells me yes, and I am forced to tell myself no for something as trivial as stepping outside of the house at night. So maybe 75 years were enough to get a lot of provisions, safeguards, rights, and get a legal and constitutional backing for a lot of things, but probably they were not enough in challenging and unlearning a lot of conditioning that we had, generational conditioning embedded with stereotypes and prejudices in our minds. Freedom is a concept that takes various meanings with time. Years back, the same-sex marriage and the freedom to do so was something unthinkable. So maybe as our understanding expands, as our perspectives widen, we strive for a freedom that is unthinkable today. Isn't it a concept that has a lot of fluidity attached to it? It is important to appraise and accept, but more importantly, evaluate the success that we've had till now and to notice the deficiencies that still exist not only in the system but in us as individuals in the form of mental constructs that we've built and conditioned ourselves into. To conclude, I'd just like to say that freedom is recognition of the choice that we have in giving power to something or somebody to have over us. Let's recognize it. And it's time to wake up. Good morning. Thank you.